Alright guys, welcome to today's video, and today we will talk about pronunciation changes, right? We will talk about how L or R is pronounced, and we will take a look at why some words are pronounced differently than they are written out, right? And before we start, I would like to say that this video is sponsored by absolutely nobody. So let's get to it. So very obvious pronunciation change, right? Everybody comes across this in the beginning when they study Korean. 감사합니다, written with a B, pronounced with a M. 감사합니다, right? So this is the problem that we will be talking about today, sort of. It will be more complicated, but yeah. So pronunciation tip. So how is the L pronounced finally? From my years of using Korean, I've noticed a pattern, and I put it in 4 cases, right? So let's take a look at them. If you have double L in a word, what I mean by this is L followed by L, right? They are pronounced as double L. This one is quite simple, right? So the word that we have here, malla, 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 right? You can hear lele, sort of. So let's take a look at the second word that I write here, other, right? So if it is at the end of a word alone, then it's pronounced as L, simple as that. If it's followed by a vowel, then it's pronounced as R, okay? So here what we have is marathang, marathang, marathang. So here it would be pronounced as R, okay? And if it's in the middle of a word followed by a consonant, like here we have G, right? So then it's pronounced simply as L. 알겠어, 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 알겠어. Okay? So we will take a look at this now. You guys probably know what 받침 is by now. It means the last character of a syllable, right? So usually when you have S there, it's pronounced as T, and we can see that right here. Okay, so here what we have written is 핫하다, 핫하다. It means to be hot. So there is no S pronunciation, it's simply T, right? Like a subtle T. 핫하다. Okay, take notes here. If we have J in the 받침 position, it's also pronounced as T, right? So here what we have is 잊고 싶어, 잊고 싶어, right? So what happens sort of is that you put your tongue to your upper teeth, just as you are about to pronounce the J sound, right? So it's like it, you sort of like swallow the pronunciation, okay? So that's what happens there. And if you have double S in 받침, it sort of creates a longer pronunciation, right? Because again, you have to swallow the double S, and if there is a consonant afterwards, it doubles itself, right? So itta is pronounced as this, actually, right? It's written like this always, don't get me wrong, but it's pronounced as itta, okay? And here I want to point out the difference, what double S does to the pronunciation actually. So I will read this one first, this one second, right? So let's go. 됐는지, 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 됐는지. I think you guys can hear the difference, you can tell. So let's take a look at, alright, so more common pronunciation changes before we get to the real stuff. So if we have G, J, or B, followed by H, their pronunciation changes to K, J, P, okay? As you can see here we have G followed by H, right? It creates this. Here we have B followed by H, creates this. Here we have A followed by H, and it creates this, right? So 연락하다, 대답하다, 잊히다. Okay? So the words are written like this. This is perfectly correct, alright? Again, don't get me wrong, but they sound like this. That's the point of today's lesson, right? So let's take a look at the hard stuff now. So this will probably not tell you much right now, but we will take a look at it one by one, okay? What I mean by this. So let's start with the first example that we have here. And what I want to tell you guys by this is that if you have N followed by L, the N changes to L in the pronunciation, okay? So here we have our favorite 연락하다. So see here we have N, it goes to L, right? L is next. So the N, it has to change to L, right? So we create this 연락하다 pronunciation. And here we have G followed by H, so it also goes to Ka here, right? It's really hard to pay attention to this while you're speaking. So again, it needs a lot of practice, right? So it just goes right away. You don't even have to think about it. It requires some time, but it brings your Korean to another level, I feel like. So let's take a look at this. Here we have NG followed by L. The L changes to N, right? What I mean by that, again, here we have NG, here we have L. The L changes to N, right? So here what we had was Dong, Yu, Dang. What we have here is Dong, Yu, Dang, right? Because if you pronounce it syllable by syllable as it, you can just pronounce it as it's written, right? But if you speak fast and it just flows off of your mouth, then you just have to say the 정류장, right? There is no other way you could say this. All right, so this is the worst one that we will have here today. If you have G followed by L, G changes to NG and L changes to N. Crazy stuff, right? So here we have example word, means independency. So here we have G followed by L, right? So G changes to NG and L changes to N. So we don't have 독, 입, we have 독립, 독립, 독립. This one was hard. Next one is quite easy. If you have M followed by L, the L goes to N, right? See, here we have M, L, M, N. Easy, right? So it's not 음료수, it's 음료수. Okay? This one is the most common one, I would say. B and N, B goes to M. 합니다 goes to 합니다. We had that in the beginning. And last one that we have here is G and M. The G changes to NG, right? So what we had here was G. What we have here is M. And the G changes to NG. Okay, so we don't have 박물관, we have 박물관. That's it. So here, one more time, if you want to take notes. Now you know how to read this, slide. So go ahead and just practice. It's all about practice. I hope this video will help you with your pronunciation. If you enjoyed it, you can like, subscribe, share, whatever. Give me some feedback. I will be super glad, right? So that's it from me today, and peace.